This is the High School Crossfire. Welcome back.
Cashless transactions will be the greatest step towards ending corruption. That's our resolution for tonight. Dear judges, Isabel Alvin from the affirmative side. Our dear judges, the negators left a question that how are we going to fund the transaction? How are we going to fund the cashless transactions without a fund? But if they were observant enough in our house, we had the World Bank. We had the World Bank in conjunction with Bank of Uganda. We would have a fund therefore. Dear judges, the point of crutches in this debate they come and tell us that they are going to sensitize people, but we come and tell them. They come and tell us that they are going to sensitize people, but we come and tell them that us, our master farmer came and told them that before implementing the cashless transactions, we are going to sensitize people about how to use the cashless transactions, their importance, and how they stop corruption. Are they affirming the resolution? I don't get it at all. They come and tell us that they are going to use the whistleblowers, forum. And I want to pose a question to them. And the whistleblowers also corrupt. I don't get it. How sure are we that the whistleblowers forum want to be corrupt? They are going to implement. Our dear judges, they come and tell us, there is a negator who told us that UCC only deals with communication. I pose a question to negators. Isn't receiving a message on your phone that a transaction has taken place, isn't that communication? I don't get it at all. Granted.
What shows that whistleblowers are corrupt?
Pardon?
What shows that whistleblowers are corrupt?
You came up with it, and how sure are we asking you? How sure are we that they are not corrupt? Take a note. They came here. The first negator came and redefined our resolution. I don't know why he redefined it. I don't get it. He redefined it and he didn't give a reason why. And when he redefined it, he didn't give us our source. Still, our definition of the resolution tonight still stands. They come and tell us that who will fund you, and we told them that we are going to be funded by the World Bank, and they continue to tell us that how will the cashless transactions stop corruption? We as their farmers come and tell them that they'll stop corruption by tracing. POI. How are we going to trace? We are going to find out who received the transaction. POI. When was the transaction carried out? And we continue asking them that if cashless transactions would be the greatest step towards ending corruption, what's the greatest step towards ending corruption? Till now, their farmers, we haven't got that greatest step from the negators. We are still asking, we want that thing. They come and tell us that there is 60 with cashless transaction. We as the farmers come up and say that with our cashless transactions, we are going to equip that on the cashless transactions. What does it mean? That there will be no NRE 60. There will be no NRE 60 at all. Therefore, cashless transactions continue to start.
Point of information.
They come and tell us that they continue with their thing of whistleblowers, that they are going to continue with their whistleblowers. But we, as the farmers, come and tell you that the whistleblowers won't work at all. The whistleblowers won't work at all. Reason being, these whistleblowers, we as the cashless transactions, as we're carrying out the cashless transactions, what we are going to do, we are going to send the messages that somebody has received the message. Therefore, I don't find any need for a whistleblower. If we are sure that somebody has received the message, why is there a need for a whistleblower? I don't get it at all. The gators come and tell us. We come and tell that there are laws that are in Uganda, and we are restricting our corruption to embezzlement. We want to come. We are asking the negators to come and tell us how won't the cashless transactions be able to stop corruption by embezzlement. Dear judges, we are stuck on embezzlement. Reason being, when you look at our country, Uganda, a minister is caught in embezzlement. A full minister. Take a look at it, a full minister. We as the farmers, I rest my case by saying, we as the farmers, cashless transactions will continue to stand because the negators have failed to come up with a solution that will help us solve it.
Resolved. In Ngugi wa Thiong'o's Devil on the Cross, he talks about modern robbery. And when they come and tell us they are talking of cashless transactions, there is no difference with it and the modern robbery that Ngugi wa Thiong'o talks about. So they come and tell us that, you know what, we are going to ensure data encryption. Now, where is the privacy here? Because you're going to leak people's information, personal information. And isn't that going to give robbers more hints to embezzle the money? That answers the question where they ask, how are our options going to fight corruption under embezzlement? To my disappointment, they talk about their funders as World Bank. Now, how is the World Bank going to fund Uganda to fight corruption through cashless transactions? And is it more effective than us who come as the ministry who come being funded under the Ministry of Finance together with foreign aid, because we have anti-corruption bodies that are actually non-government organizations? Well, to go on, they come as the UCC, but we come as the Inspectorate of Government, and we tell them, you know what, this is the body that is directly in charge of all the other bodies that are actually fighting corruption. When you want to talk about the Iron Sheet saga that was found out under the State House Anti-Corruption Unit, it is only given power under the IG. So without us, they are ineffective. So they should consider the fact that the problem of corruption is not one that can be solved by proving superiority, but by working together, because they claim that their option is the greatest, and which we disagree with, not take and rest. They come and tell us, you know what, there is no trade with cash transactions. My question is, what is happening today? When you go to your school canteen, don't you trade with your canteen attendant? Don't you give them money so that they give you something to eat? Isn't that trade enough? And now what they do not understand when they say that corruption is only carried out by people in big offices, they do not understand that when you go to the canteen and tell your canteen attendant, this sausage is 500, but I have 300. Give it to me at 300. You're actually being corrupt, because you're not taking services in a fair way, but you're actually bribing someone to give you a service because it is convenient for you. Well, they continue and tell us that, you know what, we are going to publicize cashless transactions. How effective is that? First of all, their parameters being Uganda, they are not digitally ready to carry out these cashless transactions. They do not agree to the fact that these cashless transactions require an internet access. They require electricity. And their country, Uganda, has areas that do not even have electricity. So how is that important? My second speaker comes and tells them, you know what, in this very Uganda that you advocate for, we have people who have actually never touched gadgets. We have people who don't even know the use of a gadget. So how are you going to sensitize people on how to use these gadgets when they don't even have the resources on how they can use these gadgets? So they are not fighting corruption. They come and tell us, you know what, whistleblowers are corrupt. Now, a whistleblower is someone who sees corruption and reports corruption because they are fighting corruption. So they are not corrupt. They are helping us move out of corruption. That is why we say, without audits where we check this money was allocated, it was budgeted for, did it reach its rightful beneficiaries? Those are audits. And their system, which is cashless transaction, is ineffective without audits, because they cannot actually publicize these transactions without carrying out audits, checks and balances, and without having whistleblowers who are going to report. We have cases where we have told you, for example, the IG says Uganda loses up to 10 trillion funds due to corruption. But how are we going to fight that with cashless transactions? The question is it the people who are corrupt or the systems that are corrupt? If it is the people who are corrupt, how is their side of the world going to actually affect corruption? The issue today is who fights corruption better. And we believe that with whistleblowers, audits, lifestyle audits, and checks and balances, we will end corruption. I've never been prouder than to oppose.
This is the High School Crossfire. We'll be back in a minute.